Rutherford Issues with Bryan Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
We're back here on Rutherford Issues and powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Their EV Ready program offers a $50 bill credit toward home EV charging setup. Details at driveev.com. Well, State Representative Mike Sparks is in studio with us. And then, have you seen the movie Party Crashers?
I hadn't seen that.
You haven't?
No. Is it a real
just
movie?
Kidding. Yeah,
okay,
it's a real movie.
I don't get out much.
I noticed. You were at TCAT this morning, though.
Yeah, Tennessee College of Applied Technology on Sergeant Asbury Hanway, my late Nissan co-worker that sadly lost his life in Iraq. But United Way had a nice community celebration. Had a lot of folks there, and they honored a lady, LaQuinta. Don't have LaQuinta's last name, but anyways, I happened to meet that young lady at Parkway Baptist when I put on the expungement clinic, trying to help people that made mistakes, 15, 20, 30 years ago. But anyway, shout out to Ashley Wenzel and Haley with United Way, and just a great time of folks coming together. The mayor was there, Senator Don White, Robert Stevens, and other representatives from Nissan. Gene Watson, Smyrna Middle School, my old high school, the old Smyrna High School. Smyrna Middle School won the Middle School Award for raising the most money for United Way, and then Siegel School did as well, and Rocky Fork Elementary School. So shout out to them, and Principal Creasy was there as well. Great guy, and Jenny Williams and others. But a good event. It's good to see people come together for great causes.
Larry was in Smyrna for a long time.
Yes, we went to high school. I think we used to go to church together too. Great guy. Got a good attitude.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody does.
Except you sometimes, most of the time.
Well, hey, man, you live in my world. Sometimes you get a bad attitude.
Really?
You get upset, yeah. But some of the chaos going on, we're talking off the air. I've been traveling to Nashville from Rutherford County, giving this nurse a ride. One of my wife's friends' car keeps breaking down, so I've been driving her to Una almost every morning. And man, I'm telling you, the chaos on the highways that I'm seeing. We've had 2 murders on I-24 in my district, and then driving to Murfreesboro, or driving to up Mercer Road to Una. I'm seeing people driving the center lane like it's a regular lane. I see no Metro officers. I did call Metro twice a couple weeks ago, and they did have an officer sitting there, a unit sitting there in the middle of the road, that center lane. But the other day, I done an interview with Channel 4 at the car wash in front of Una about the idea for the tunnel and Elon Musk and the letter I wrote. So they were asking me, and I was talking about how public safety is such an issue. And I call these things confirmation. Tell me how strange this is. I'm at the car wash. I tell the Channel 4, I said, if you don't believe that this is really a public safety issue, you just get a reporter, you drive up and down Mercer Road, and you see what I've seen. I've seen somebody doing a donut in oncoming traffic of the day, run red lights. They pay no attention to red lights. And what happened, a cop got into, there was a hit and run. Guy, I think, climbs out the sunroof, takes off running. Female officer gives chase. They wind up at the same car wash I was at. The female officer got beat up. Bystanders, I think, jumped in to help the officer, but it happened at the same exact location I'm at, talking about public safety.
Interesting. I didn't know you were an Uber driver now.
Uber? What am I doing? Uber.
Well, I mean, you're taking people to Nashville and driving around.
Well, we've got to do something about this. And she may do the WeGo and the bus, but while we were in traffic, it's 4 miles now. It's 4 miles of traffic. Right there at Starwood, all the way to Una, it's just bumper to bumper to bumper. And I seen her holler at somebody, it was a teacher, and I told her, I said, why don't you consider y'all carpooling? She said, well, that teacher, she's real sweet. She said she's took in 2 of her grandkids because her daughter, I guess, got a drug problem. I said, man, think of how many grandparents are taking care of grandkids now.
Yeah.
But I carpooled when I was like 19 and 20 working at Whirlpool. Did you ever carpool?
Was it a car or was it horse and buggy?
No, it was, but we I paid a lady, a coworker, $5 a week to, but I saved money, put less wear and tear. But I don't think people carpool as much today.
Well, what if you decide you're going to leave at 4:30 and I need to stay until 5?
And you have an emergency.
You know?
That's I guess that's where maybe an Uber could come in.
I just don't know that people here in this area are going to, hop on a bus, or everybody just wants their own car.
Well, it is, but you go
it's
back.
It's a control thing,
I think. Well, freedom. I mean, you want your own and control your own destiny, but it doesn't help when the WeGo bus station. I was up there. I pop in about once a week when we're out, and I was talking to the trooper, William Bennett, and he goes, "Hold on," and he took off running after a guy that some other undercover cops were chasing. That the young teenager had a gun on him, but it doesn't help when there's a murder out there last year. I think it was a young 16-year-old killed another 16-year-old, but it doesn't help when you got a homeless issue of folks hanging out there, and then it doesn't help when people see what happened in was it New York where that young lady was killed, stabbed to death. So people see that, they're like, man, I'm gonna stay in my own vehicle.
Are you up on home buying and all that kind of stuff?
I had James Yates on the radio last Sunday, and James is Red Realty, and we talked a little bit about the market. I'm glad to see rates come down. And
I bet there's not a person here that's any happier than Dave Gober that's sitting over there.
Dave.
First
How's
Mortgage.
it going?
All right, you just popped in.
Yeah,
just in
I
the
got to
area.
do our football commercials.
Yeah,
So I figured I'd stop by a little early because that's the comments and the text and calls I've been getting since the Fed met. So, rates, unfortunately, they're not going to drop like people want them to. It's more of just a little bit at a time. Sometimes we kind of, as a Fed chair, I don't know. The data's there to cut the rates. I think we're a year behind doing the rate cuts. But the
President Trump thinks so too, I think.
well, I mean, if you look at Europe and their economy and how many rate cuts they have, we haven't had hardly any compared to them. So I just, when you talk about mortgage rates, everybody wants them in the 5s. I think if we can get a 5 in front of any, person, they'll go for it. Because 5 is a great rate historically. I mean, it's phenomenal, right? You're not going to see 3s again. If you see 3s again, I don't know what's going on, right? Yeah. But
so what is it right now?
The rate right now is probably about 6.3 with 6.25, no points. You can buy the rate down, obviously. But let's give an example. Like if you have a rate at 6 and you want to buy it to 5, that's not 1% point buy down. Mm-hmm. That's just the difference in the rate, right? To buy it and the cost, the discount would cost you, like you could go from 6 to 5.75 maybe for a half a point discount. Okay, but your mortgage professional will be able to break that down for you. But sometimes it doesn't make sense to pay points, right?
Well, we're talking numbers, and there's a Smyrna guy here, so I don't know. Do you get all this?
Well, I'm in the middle of I'm rolling it out on our business and expecting the rate cut. So I was glad to see it. And I'm hoping they're going to come down a little more. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, they're going to have a couple. I think they're going to have at least two more rate cuts this year.
This year, okay.
And they'll
the
be
end of the
probably
year?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I do. Well, I think the driving force, inflation's a little bit, it's not as bad. I mean, the CPI index, but it is still a little high. Inflation's still a little high. But the main driving force is going to be jobless claims, in my opinion. How this job market performs in the next 4 to 6 months, because we've already had like 2 or 3 corrections in the past year on misreported job loss.
Yeah.
So, I think the rates, if you look back in May, they should have been lower in the May because we'd have had a more robust summer market, right? Mm-hmm. But I really think we're on par for a good spring come March 2026, and I think the rates
what 6.
I think they'll be in the high 5s.
Okay.
Wow. Dave is with First Mortgage, by the way, here in town, and so what if somebody bought a home like in 2020, 21, somewhere in there? Mm-hmm. When is it, if it gets into the high 5s, it's probably a good time to maybe think about refinancing too then at that point, right?
That's correct, but obviously it depends on how long you're going to be there. There's costs involved. You get a discount when you do a refinance in most cases. You do with us.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of title companies will step in and discount because it's a repeat customer. You try to help out those people that have trusted you in the past that come back to you for the future, right? But, with the rates and everything, like if you've got a 7% rate, I've got plenty of people between 22 and 24 that had rates at 6.875 all the way to 7.5 because that's just what the conventional rate was, and FHA was higher. So yeah, it's worth getting positioned. Now you don't have to go or move forward until the rates where you're happy, right? Mm-hmm. So I have people go ahead and get their ducks in a row. We hear that all the time, lined up. So when they do dip, sometimes it's just for a week or two. People understand the market moves daily, right? You can have 4 rate changes in a day, up or down. But if you get your stuff in, you fill out the application, you get your documents, you have that sense of, okay, I'm ready to take that step to help my financial future, lower my rate. Because if you're at a 7 and I can get you a 5.25, okay, that's worth doing in most cases, right? And then another thing is, with rates go lower, your 15-year mortgage is always going to be a better bet if you can afford it. You're not only going to pay your house off earlier, you're going to pay half the interest, and your rate's going to be lower, right? So I tell people, find ways with your built-in equity to, if we do a cash-out refinance, let's put it on a 20-year or a 15-year. Let's don't go all back to 30. Now, if you want to, that's fine, but I try to educate everybody on every option available so they can meet their financial goal. Because if you're like 45 and you want to be debt-free by your 60, all right, you do a cash-out refinance, maybe put it on a 15-year or 20-year, and that way you're close to being debt completely, house paid off and everything by the time you get ready to retire.
Yeah. Good points there. Mike, you deal a lot. We've all been in this area forever. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, just the price of property now. Yes. Someone was telling me that they were able to maybe like a modest home, 2,000 square feet, 3 acres in West Tennessee in a rural area, about $275. Yeah. You wouldn't touch that for less than
what? Just sad. Somebody called me the other day that they forgot who it was, but their in-laws passed away outside of Memphis, that adjoining county, and they described it as a big 4-car garage, estate, and I'm thinking, wow, $600,000. And I said, well, how much is that? I'm just curious. He said, oh, it appraised at $300,000. Yeah. And I thought, wow, but if that was around here, I just got a text from Rick Hall, Commissioner Rick Hall now, and the county's going to have a new jail, and you think of the price of land and the state building, because we're probably going to need a new prison.
And there's nowhere to go up or out where it's currently located, right?
And yes, it's there's some unique challenges out there. I think you remember I had that TASER study about housing, Tennessee Advisory Council on Government Relations, and I literally had taxpayer-funded lobbyists work against my study. Behind the scenes, they were trying to kill my study because I was just having a conversation. And you bring, like Proverbs says, there's wisdom up to the counselors and bring people together. And those folks were working against me, and the taxpayers are paying their salary. So this is the goofiness I see in state government sometimes. But it's really challenging to think, what are my grandkids? You've got one grandchild, right? And then you said Melissa's got an extra one. Melissa
just born this morning.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm worried
healthy
about
7 pounds something.
Yeah, really worried about the future for them.
Well, the property on Salem, of course, I go back to when I remember the jail was right off the square. And
wow.
I do remember that. I know you remember that.
Haunted,
you were probably in there.
Right here on the corner, right?
Yeah.
We used to do field trip in there to scare all the young kids.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, that's where I remember from. But, it was a big deal when we built the current jail, and it was the big thing about it was, hey, we can expand, we can go up, we can add floors to it. And I think there's been 2 expansions since then, but there's just nowhere to go up or out anymore.
I tell you, whether it's transportation, infrastructure, the Elon Musk idea about a tunnel. I often talk about a confirmation. Of the day I was on another station, and I was talking about the predatory lending practice and how Trump's trying to lower rates, but then the General Assembly raised interest rates to help predatory lenders. And this is the former Democrat chairman, Mike Stewart. And after the show, we were talking, and he said, man, before they take a tunnel to Metro Airport, they need to take that thing to Murfreesboro. And I said, well, I guess you knew about my letter to Elon Musk. He said, no, what letter are you talking about? I said, well, I wrote Elon to say, hey, man, if you're going to, let's look at something to relieve congestion to Murfreesboro, Laverne, and Smyrna, because it's in 5-10 years, it's going to be really pretty rough. So I say, plus the public safety issue, so Keep your tax dollars in Rutherford County and shop here.
Yeah, but why can't we do it? I mean, and I'm not as educated as you are in that area for sure, but
I'm going to say
the train station.
Train.
Well, but was it CSX won't give up the tracks?
I remember sitting on planning committee with Bob Spivey. Bob was a brilliant businessman. I don't know if you knew Bob. But Bob developed all the quadrants of Rutherford County, of Sam Ridley. He sold Cracker Barrel. He owned Starbucks. He owned sold Target, sold the movie theater, sold all the hotel sites. And I remember sitting beside Bob, and I asked him about the potential for rail, and he said you'd have to buy so much right away, and he mentioned all the businesses through Smyrna, like even the Omnet. He says a lot of that's going to have to come out. I mean, that sounds good. Williamson County or Wilson County has the rail, but the Choice Lanes program is coming along, and
how is that used? I mean, is that really used in Wilson County to Nashville?
I've never been out there and used it. I hear it's used.
I mean, I guess you can go. They have a public transportation, right? You can just go and see.
I just wonder if that's something that would be. It goes again to people having the freedom to hop in their car and go wherever they want to at lunchtime and that kind of thing.
Yeah, or like Disney World's been doing the monorail.
Well, I was
down the middle of I-24 and put a monorail.
I was down there about 2 years ago at a CPAC meeting, and Trump was there. President Trump was there. And I thought, well, I'm going to just drive over to Cocoa Beach, for the half day. I drove out there, and they were building a rail. And I got out there, and I got on the tracks weren't there. It was just all the foundation was being laid out. And I took a picture of it, and I sent it to Representative Jason Powell out of the Antioch, Knowlesville area. Jason, he's the one that's been pushing for like the rail to Atlanta, which would go to Florida, to Memphis, at least the study committee. So that was his issue. So I sent him the pictures, and I think that's completed down there in Florida now.
Interesting. Well, I just know that this place is exploding in the next 5 years, the next 10 years. I mean, I think this jail thing is going to be probably as expensive or more than the judicial building was.
Well, I mean, even the cost of schools. The schools, I used to say the next high school is going to be $95 million. Now I think it's $190 million.
If they build it, the conversation has been to build the schools smaller, like 1,500 to 1,800 instead of the 2,300.
Your land cost.
But still, yeah.
That's why I'm for school choice. I mean, if we could encourage folks that are capable of homeschooling and partner with churches that already have a facility, a gymnasium, they got classrooms, and if it could be that relief valve, that's something that could help our county.
Well, you two are small business owners too, and Dave, you've had the theater for how long now? Premier 6.
Be 10 years coming up in June.
Is that right?
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
To get through 2020, I know that was a very difficult time, but it seems like things are kind of on the rebound. And I know that shopping center is not only had a facelift, but also AutoZone moving in at the end of that. It's going to be interesting.
That was an interesting email to get that AutoZone was going to take over almost half your shopping center.
Yeah,
I feel my heart goes out to Scoops and Ty Patea. I mean, those are my friends. I'd go down. I always support the businesses within the mall, in the strip mall. I used to walk that mall when I was 17 years old as a doorman with Joe T and Billy Brooks. Yeah. So I've seen Pig and Parsons. I got my first account at Pig and Parsons, and I thought I had made it in the world.
You remember the little carnival in the basement?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I remember. I didn't. I think it was before I was born. Yeah. But I remember Billy and everybody talking about it.
Oh, it was really cool. Do you remember it?
No.
Oh, they had
I wasn't born in the Stone Age like you.
They had putt-putt golf underneath, too.
Oh, they had bowling.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff.
Train.
So what's interesting about that AutoZone is it's supposed to be kind of an area distribution. So the AutoZones from here in Rutherford County can come there and get their supplies and things. I think you can shop there too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be also like a lot of people they break down on the road or something, and they know how to fix it. Yeah. They don't have the money to go for a mechanic, so they're going to set up like an Uber to send parts out. Like, oh wow, hey, I'm stuck on the side of the road. I need this part. If I can get it here, I can fix it myself. Cool. And that's I think that's part of it. I think they have a diagnostics area too. I think where you can pull in your car.
Really cool.
It's kind of like Amazon.
Plug and go.
You need to buy something, they deliver, and so they can too, I guess.
Right, and then now you got oil change places. You don't even get out of your car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, times are changing. And I'm gonna give credit back to Oakland High School back in 1988. I had Miss Carr in computer math, and
I had Miss Carr as well.
I
later
love
on.
that lady. She was so much fun, but I wasn't. I was a little rowdy back then, but she said something to me that stuck with me for all these years, and it was, today, and it's 1988, we live in a product era. We got to have a Nike, got to have a Kirby vacuum cleaner, got to drive a Chevy, you got to have this, because everybody did their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she said, but in the future, it's all going to go from products to services. It's going to be a service industry.
Yeah.
And she was exactly right. Everybody has to have pays for their services now. They don't do it themselves.
True.
And so there you go.
Well, I just wanted to say, theater looks great. You've done a lot of improvements over the last several years. New seating in some of the theaters.
Yeah,
too.
we're working on that. And here's a good story. I had that old bench in the lobby was there for years, right? And so I didn't want to get rid of it because it's retro.
Yeah.
So some otters hit my boat and tore it up, and I had this guy Oli who came out and he fixed it, and I thought, man. So then I looked at that. I ordered 2 new chairs. It was going to cost me $1 million, guys, to put
Really?
Recliners in Premier 6. That just doesn't make sense.
Wow.
It's not financially.
Right.
Wow.
Doesn't make sense. I mean, it feels good, but that doesn't mean it's the right move, right?
Sure.
So I did space the chairs out. I redid the floors. I'm doing one theater at a time, but I ended up covering. I ordered 2 cloth seats, brand new, to see what they were like. They were not the quality that I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I covered my seats in boat seat material.
Really good for you.
And it's the most durable material you can ever buy because it's stronger than leather. It doesn't hold disease. It's not porous, so it just slides off. Easy to clean, not a germ holder. And that was a great. And sometimes things just work out.
Yeah. Well, can you tell, like with the state of the economy with visitors? Have you ever thought that there's an indicator there? You know how many people are visiting the movie compared to how the economy is?
Well, here's the thing with Hollywood. You know, they're like, man, I don't know how he's making it, because you think about it. If you took a 4-mile radius around my theater, you've got the 9 Stones River 9.
Okay.
And then you got Case and Lane. So I'm going against 25 screens.
Wow. Yeah.
And I look at it as like the Titanic. You know, they're the big dogs, right?
Yeah.
And I'm over here just a small theater, independent owner, but I'm holding my own.
Yeah.
And now we're gaining ground because of that, because we're affordable, because I take care of my customers. I listen to them. You're treated like family when you walk in our door.
Yeah. You think it's some of it's nostalgia as well?
I think it's a loyalty. Yeah. It's I've been going there. Like I had a couple come in. Well, we saw Jaws here in our first day.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, then I've got people like families that saw The Incredibles. Yeah. Well, they had The Incredibles, and then Incredibles 2 came
and they're
out.
carrying the grandkids.
And then now they're dressing up as families. I do special events. You know, I have an event center over there where I can do gaming, seminars. It's awesome.
Cool.
So that's available to rent. You can go to murfreesboromovie.com and you can look at those prices. You can rent. We do a lot of birthday parties.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And
Maybe you should have a constituent movie night and invite people.
I might. You know, well, you did host David. Is it Srirachi? Where he came to Smyrna and then he came back, and it was called A Divided Nation.
Oh, movie,
And you helped promote him. And what was weird, I call these confirmations. I've been talking about the division I see in America, and that guy happened to pick Smyrna, Tennessee to air his movie, and then he came back either 6 months later, 3 months later, and you hosted him.
Yeah.
We had a good turnout there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And we do those kind of things. That's what being an independent owner is. I can do certain things. I do have to adhere to the schedules of Hollywood, obviously, because I'm under contract. But, like, I can say, okay, today – let's do this. You know,
and y'all hosted Bill Ford on the submarine, that documentary.
Yes.
Yeah, that was under Brooks years ago.
Yeah.
I remember y'all doing that.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff, but I've had proposals, engagements, all kinds of stuff there. Celebration of life.
Cool.
You know, it's just a good theater. But going back to the renovation, Brian, we appreciate your compliments, obviously, but you know, it's been a struggle. I'm just going to tell you right now.
I understand.
And I love that theater. My heart and soul's in that theater. If it makes 1 red penny, I'll keep it. But it didn't make 1 red penny for 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I hung in there. But now it's coming back.
Yep.
Well, our time's up this morning. State Representative Mike Sparks, Dave Gober joining us here on the show.